Hi everyone. Well, as you would have seen, we just picked up these two bikes. I had a subscriber reach out to me, and he had seen the videos I did on the CB200 and said, "Hey, would you be interested in swapping your CB for two Royal Enfields?" And I said, "Yeah, heck yeah." Although I just love my CB and I've been driving it around summer and just having a great time with it. I love Royal Enfields too, and I actually used to live in India where these are made, and I've driven all over India. I've driven right across India on Enfields. I've driven through the Himalayas, around Mount Kanchenjunga on Royal Enfield, and I just love these old bikes. They're just really awesome to ride, and obviously they're made in India. And these are pretty cool. These are actually from 1998, and the story goes that a man was importing fertilizer gear to New Zealand from India, and he was loading up his containers of fertilizer stuff and was right across the road from the Royal Enfield factory, and he thought, well, I've got some spare space in my container, so he put these two bikes in the container, brought them to New Zealand, got them complied to run on New Zealand roads, and then really never used them. These have only done 2,000 kilometres, and this one's done 3,000 kilometres, so they've hardly had any use, and in really good condition. Both of them have a few small issues that we need to address. I've driven the black bike, but after about 5 minutes of driving, it starts to misfire quite badly, so I bought some new coil, condenser and points for it we're going to put in, and see if we can get these things running really good. Well, I've got a few small problems with this bike. When I got the bike, the gearbox here had absolutely no oil in it at all, and I've tried a few times to put oil in it, and I just can't, and it just leaks out all over the floor eventually, but I just can't determine where the oil is coming from. I've put a new copper washer on the drain plug there, I don't know if you can see it, and that hasn't fixed it. So today I'm going to put some more oil in it and try and carefully work out where it's coming from. It might be coming from the seam, maybe there's a gasket in there, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to take all this off and reseal that. So today I want to see where that oil's coming from. Secondly, this bike runs amazing for the first 5 minutes, and then after 5 or 7 minutes, something like that, it starts misfiring pretty bad. It's not, I don't know that it's electrical, there is something not right, and I've got to try and track that down today. She's actually pretty clean and tidy in there, but definitely that gasket was completely destroyed, and I'll have to make a new one. Haven't got time to go and order one, so I might just try and make one. So I'll go into town, get some gasket paper and see if I can make that up. But it actually looks pretty tidy in there. It's clean, quite a lot of grease, but that's alright. Apart from that, yeah, she's in mint condition. So before I go assembling all the rest of it, I'm just going to leave that sit there for an hour or so while I have my lunch and see if there's a pool of oil under it or whether it's actually fixed. One small drop of oil, but I don't think that's from the gearbox, so yep, I'll put that all back together again and give it a try. Well, gearbox seems to be good. There's no oil coming out, but I'll keep an eye on that. Next thing is I've got to do is try and fix this misfire and whatever it is, and I'm not 100% sure what it is. So I think what I'll do is I will change the points and condenser and see if that fixes the problem. Well, I've put a new set of points and a condenser in it, so I'll now take it for a run and see if it's working, see if it stopped missing or whatever it is that's going wrong. If not, should be back to the drawing board, so I'll just take it for a drive. Well, I have quite a problem with this bike. I'm not sure what is going on. It has a surging problem. I don't know if you can notice it in the video, but it runs fine when it's cold. But then after about 6 or 7 minutes of riding, it will just start missing, not missing, but kind of like it's surging. But if I pull the clutch in, it'll glide with no surging. And if I rev the engine while the clutch is in, it revs perfectly fine. But as soon as I let the clutch out and use a bit of throttle, it again starts surging. And so I've changed the spark plug cap, the coil, the condenser and the points. I've mixed around with the carburetor, and nothing seems to change it. So what I've done is I've just done a post on some of the Royal Enfield forums just to see if anybody out there knows what on earth is going on, and maybe they can help me. I'm not sure what is going on. I just can't seem to find what the problem is. So I'll see what comes back and then see if I can start experimenting with some other things. Well, I've still got problems with this. So I've tried carburetor, I've tried electrical, and I'm convinced that that's not the problem. I'm convinced that there's a problem in the gearbox here. It only happens when it gets hot, it doesn't when it's cold, and it doesn't happen when I pull the clutch in. And it kind of feels like I've got a bearing that's seizing up, or a thrust washer that's binding up in some way. So today I'm going to empty the oil out of the gearbox, see if there's any filings or metal in there, and then I think the only alternative is to take all this off here, pull all the shafts out. These have don't have very tight tolerances in any of the bearings or gears or anything like that in this, so seems an unusual problem, but I think the problem's actually getting worse too. So today, drop the oil out, see what it looks like, and then get into pulling the gearbox apart. Well, that was clean oil that I put in there, so just put this magnet in, just see if there's any filings or anything in here. Seems to be quite dirty. For oil, it's only done a few kilometres, but see if any metal filings are in there. Not too bad. Doesn't look like there's much on there at all. Well, after months and months of working on this bike and trying to find this problem, finally it's solved. The exhaust tappet was too tight, and I guess it was only just a little bit too tight because it drove fine when it was cold, but just as soon as it got hot, it must have been keeping the valve open, and man, I almost gave up on this thing. Today I had decided that this would be my last ditch attempt at fixing it, and if I couldn't fix it, I was going to put it up for a $1 reserve auction and just sell it. But man, it goes great. Just took it for a nice big ride. Really pleased with it. It runs absolutely sweet. Super happy. So next step is to go for my warrant of fitness and then get it registered and then go out, use it and ride it, which I can't wait. It'll be great. Well, just been for my warrant of fitness check and it passed, no problem at all. Got it registered, so she's all road legal and can now go out and use it. Well, this has actually taken me 6 months to get sorted. To be honest, I should have diagnosed it earlier. I've had the gearbox apart twice, the primary apart, the carburetor off, I don't know how many times. It's got new coil, new points, new condenser, and all it was the exhaust valves were just adjusted a little bit too tight. I should have checked that much earlier. Never mind. I was determined to get this sorted and not touch the red bike until I had this bike running really well. Anyway, this is a really cool bike. It's only done 4,000 kilometers. It's just a great bike to ride, and I still have the red bike to do up, so I will start into that pretty soon. In the meantime, I'm going to use this bike and enjoy the beautiful countryside in New Zealand and ride our great roads. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.